Welcome to another session of Business Startup Training. Today we'll be looking at the epidemic impact on businesses. This is presented by Accounting Lecture. So by the end of this session we'll have a better understanding of the epidemic impact on businesses. Our objectives are the COVID-19 turnover and profits of businesses, the post or the current COVID-19 turnover and profits or losses on businesses, the future COVID-19 turnover, profits or losses rather on businesses, what will the government help do, and then we will conclude. Now let's have a look at the pre-COVID-19 turnover and profits. So sales of 200,000 would be normally the situation. Variable costs, and again, variable costs is a function of volume. So the higher the volume bought to be sold will increase the variable costs. But variable costs also has other factors that could drive it, which is other activity that will drive the increase or decrease of variable costs. Fixed cost is a cost that remains constant regardless of the level of activity. And then we will have profit. So sales of 200,000, variable cost of 30,000, fixed cost of 120 gives us a profit of 50,000. Now let's have a look at a hypothetical example of sales level of 200,000 for, let's say, 8 businesses. So with 8 businesses having 200,000 in sales, the economic value of the various businesses would be 1,600,000. Now, let's have a look at 500 businesses. If we were to have a situation where we had 500 businesses with 200,000 in sales, it'd be 100 million in sales. Variable cost of 15 million, fixed cost of 60 million, and therefore profit of 25 million. So that would be the scenario with 500 businesses. Now, in terms of this extrapolated over a 3-month period, it would be 75 million in profits and 300 million in sales. So 300 million in sales and 75 million in profits. This is what the government needs to protect. Now let's have a look at the scenario with COVID-19 coming on board. So sales would be 0, variable cost is 30,000 and fixed costs 120,000. It means with the government support of 80,000, let's say it pays all the salaries of the employees up to 80,000, then it would have loss immediately with a current lockdown of 70,000 based on this scenario. Therefore, if we were to extrapolate this for 500 businesses, it would be 35 million in losses and 105 million in losses over a 3-month period. Now, in terms of the government support of 80,000, 80,000, 80,000, 80,000 for 8 businesses, that will aggregate to 640,000. So the government support would equate to 640,000 for the various businesses. And in this instance, it's just 8 businesses. Now, let's have a look at what the situation holds for in the future. Now, when lockdown ends or we have a phase return to work, it would be a scenario where the sales level of 200,000 would not return immediately. So we would have a quarter, so 50,000 in this instance, and then variable costs here of 50,000. It then gives and fixed cost of 150. Therefore, we'll have loss immediately of 150,000. So our variable cost is going up, our sales is less, and our fixed cost is also going up. So immediately we'll have losses. So the future looks at losses immediately. Previously, with Corona being in the picture, the loss was 70,000. After Corona is dealt with and we're having a phase return, well, it's not going to be totally eradicated, but for the first interim, it would be about a phase return. We will have losses of 150,000, which means it's twice the scenario with the lockdown. If we were to extrapolate this for 500 businesses, that would be 75 million in losses or 225 million in losses over a 3-month period. Now let's have a look at 8 businesses with 150,000 in losses. So 150 for 8 businesses, that will equate to losses of 1,200,000. So 1,200,000 in losses aggregated all together, which is quite significant This means that the government is not going to get corporation tax, which is one of its core tax. And what is going to happen is business is going to start closing, and then we'll have business that's going to start closing left, right, and center. The economy is going to contract, and instead of, in this instance, 8 businesses will have 4, so half of the businesses will go. Now, what will the government help do? Yes, the government help currently is paying employees salary, but it's not the only thing that the business needs currently to survive. It needs to pay variable costs, other elements of variable costs and fixed costs. And it needs to find that money even if the government does not support it. It will have an easing of the financial impact, but it does not necessarily eradicate it altogether. We are not able to understand the scale of this, and experts are still trying to calculate the level of this impact. And so we're struggling in that area. But in the interim, businesses will need to get loans, and currently cheap money is available. Will the businesses get it, and who will get it? We do not know, because it's a gamble of what the economic situation is going to be in terms of which businesses will grow first, and the ability to pay back. Because a lot of businesses and major drivers of the economy, service-oriented areas which drives the economy right now, and also tourism and hospitality, which are major drivers, are the areas that is majorly hit. And so therefore, if you are not necessarily supporting these businesses, the economy is going to contract, and it's going to take quite a many years to return to the levels it were before. So what can we conclude? Sales was 200,000, which means, and profits would be 50,000. That was pre-corona. But when corona takes place and lockdown occurs, 70,000 in losses immediately. That will double to 150,000 in losses after corona and phased return to work takes place. Because the businesses would need to bear more of the costs, and they will no longer have the support of the government paying employees' salary. Yes, the government help will help businesses, but it's not going to cover all the costs. I would like to hear your opinion on this. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you.